play when you feeling down on your isn't right. Play this shit right here, resuscitate your pimping and get you right.
Wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. You dig?
When you ain't feeling like super hoe today, play this shit right here to spark up your home and get you right back going. You dig? Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Home professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them bag bitches pedal for them portions. My horse win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but getting ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dope. Over 120 in the sun for fun. They bash for hours, looking baths, not showers. Bright and early, down and dirty for the cash and power.
Leave it to my baby to call me right now. Why are you looking like that? What you doing?
Nothing.
How you feel?
Good.
You don't feel sick or anything, do you?
No, just yesterday I had a runny nose. I think there's something. I don't really believe in those test things.
Did you go outside today?
No, I woke up 2 hours ago.
Oh, you must have went to sleep at like 4 or 5 o'clock.
No, not 2.
No, okay. Big difference.
My hamsters down there.
Okay, well that karate school ain't open today, I don't think so. I'll have to try them again tomorrow.
Should I even join? Because I don't think I will be able to get into it. Should I just spend my money?
You just want to spend your money, huh?
I do want to join, but
Well, don't spend your money just yet. Hold on to it. Don't be so quick to spend it. But what's up with your nails?
What?
I said, what is up with your nails?
Picking a nail polish off?
Well, you need to finish it or something. But I am about to do something, so I'm going to call you when I'm done. You say what?
And eat today?
You say what?
I didn't eat today.
Why you ain't ate nothing?
I want to use my money to get Filiberto's.
That's why you ain't ate, so you can, because you want to spend your money to get Filiberto's. So you're going to go hungry so you can get Filiberto's.
But I want to join karate. So.
Well, I think you should hold your money. But when I'm done, I'm going to call you back and we'll talk about it. All right?
Okay.
All right. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Excuse me. You know what I mean? Fatherly duties kicking in. But, let me get my stuff right. Hold on. If you have not, wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. What I mean by that, hit that like button. It's 49 of y'all in here, but only 27 of y'all done wiped your feet off at the door. Go ahead, hit that button. It looked like this one time. You dig? Hold on. Blue Hunted, as always, good looking with the $5 holla. Free's been coming daily with this great game. Blessings. I appreciate you. Yeah, man. You know a pimp gonna kick this game. But yeah, man, first order of business, y'all already know, man, how we do around town. Gotta put some love in our body, man. This good old love juice. happiness, health, and wealth to everybody. You dig? You know, Brother Bill, as always, good looking with the $2 holla. You dig? Blessings to the game. What's good, bro? Blessings to you as well, Brother Bill. But yeah, man, you know, a lot of people in the game don't understand the game they in. Hold on just a second. Excuse my pimping. Okay. But yeah, man, a lot of people in the game don't even understand the game that they in, man. You know, it's very difficult. It's next to impossible to be successful at something that you involve yourself in that you don't even understand. Now, some people might get lucky, you know what I mean, which, you know, some people call it lucky. I call it blessed. But some people might get blessed, you know, just by staying available and staying down in the game, right? Some people, you know, like we say in the game, everybody get a chance, everybody get a turn. You know, everybody get their run in the game. If you stay down long enough, everybody gonna have a decent run at some point in time. Some people's runs are longer than others. Some people are more consistent than others. And, you know, a lot of people don't understand the game that they in, and that's why the majority of individuals in the game have less consistency than, you know, the most successful people in the game. Now, when a hoe is dealing with a trick, you know, ultimately it's a battle of the minds. And a lot of hoes, or I'll say, excuse me, a lot of ladies in the game don't understand that that's what they're involving themselves in. Battle of the minds, right? Now, if you come to a fight and somebody pull a gun out on you and you came unprepared and you didn't have a gun, you know, but you still gonna try to put up some sort of fight, what you gonna do? You gonna pick something up and throw it at them? If it's a bottle right there, you might pick a bottle up and throw it at them. You might try to throw a knife at them. You might try to throw a trash can or whatever's available. You know what I mean? The kitchen sink. You might try to throw everything at this individual, but at the end of the day, they got a gun and you don't. So the battle is lost right there because you didn't understand what type of fight you was getting yourself involved in, right? So essentially, pretty much what we got going on in the game now is a lot of young ladies going to they stepping into the arena and they totally unprepared because they don't understand what they getting themselves into. All they thinking about is what they can gain from it. All they thinking about is what they see other people gaining from it. But they don't think about what it takes for other people to gain from it. And they don't think about what it's going to take for them to gain from it, right? But ultimately, it's a battle of the minds. This is what a young lady in the game should understand. It's a battle of the minds, right? So if you come in to do battle, you want to have a fair fight. You should want to have a fair fight. So the first thing is to understand that what type of situation you involving yourself in. A young lady has to understand that what she's involving herself in is a battle of the minds. Her mind versus the trick's mind. Every time. Every time a hoe encounters a trick and they come together, it's a battle of the minds. And the best mind is going to win, of course. Now that you understand that, you know, you should want to be better prepared. Okay, now you understand that it's a battle of the minds. Now you understand that when you encounter a trick, it's your mind versus his mind. You understand that now, right? So with that understanding, you should want to be better equipped. You should want to be prepared to the best of your ability if you're going to be doing battle with this trick's mind. So what are the things that you're going to need, right? See, first let's talk about the bottle in the trash can, in the kitchen sink, in the knife that these hoes is throwing at these tricks that have guns, right? See, the trick, 9 times out of 10, the trick, he coming to the battle of the mind with that pistol, with that gun, that firearm, right? And he knows it's going to be easy to pick these hoes off because 9 times out of 10, they naked and unarmed, right? So some examples of things that hoes do when they unprepared, right? Like on the track, you see this often. I'm gonna go down the line, like stuff that unprepared hoes do on the track, stuff that unprepared hoes do on the carpet, stuff that unprepared hoes do on the internet, stuff that unprepared hoes do in the strip club, right? Unprepared hoes on the track, they come to the track with no weaponry, no skills, no nothing, right? So when you don't know how to use this and this, you resort to like drastic measures. You a female, I got some cool titties, so maybe if I let him touch on my titties, he gonna want me. So this is what happens. Like anybody who rides the blade can vouch for what I'm saying. You have a lot of situations where the trick roll up, the bitch, hey baby, you want to date? That's the first thing that's gonna let you know a bitch is unprepared. Soon as that trick here, hey baby, you want to date? He already know the bitch ain't got no game. You know what I mean? He already know that he's gonna win this battle of the minds. He knows that already. He already knows that he has the leverage, and she has no leverage, right? When he hears that, hey baby, you want to date? So then, the next thing she gonna do is start, bending over, shaking her ass, letting the trick grab on her ass, letting the trick grab on her pussy, letting the trick grab on her titties, all type of crazy shit, right? And this is before anything is discussed, any type of business is discussed. And, them type of bitches that do that type of shit, they don't understand that that's not going to get you anywhere. It might get you $40 or $50 or something like that. But the bottom line is that you don't understand your value. You don't understand what you have. Because if you understood what you had, you wouldn't be giving all these things away for free. Because that's pretty much what you're doing. You're giving all these things away for free. You letting them touch on you for free. You know what I mean? You letting them touch you in various areas of your body for free. So pretty much is you probably don't even understand that, but in a lot of cases, you've allowed this trick to fulfill his fantasy without even going anywhere or doing anything or discussing any type of business or any of that. You've already let this dude fulfill his fantasy. So now, and then, hey, it gets so deep, right? A lot of times these bitches don't even know these tricks be recording their ass. You know what I mean? Tricks be having cameras like secretly going and they might have a camera phone propped up somewhere, or they might have cameras, around their car, some shit like that. And, so just imagine, here go a bitch walking up to a trick's car. Hey, baby, you want to date? And then he letting the bitch letting the trick touch her in all of her, private areas, touching her body wherever he want to touch her pretty much, right? And he's recording all of this, and, the bitch, she just going along with all this shit. And then he rides off like, you know what? No, thanks. And the cold part about it, bitches are so comfortable and accustomed to doing this shit that they don't even feel cheated. They don't even feel played. They don't even feel stupid, right? So they doing all of this shit. The trick could potentially have recorded this shit. Now he gonna go somewhere in the cut and jack off. And now he got some content on you that he can play over and over as much as he want and jack off to it as much as he want. Right? And you didn't get nothing out the situation, and you don't even understand what took place. You don't even understand what you just got yourself into, right? So, this takes place when you don't understand what you involved in. This takes place when you don't understand that it's your mind versus his mind. And he just killed you with his mind. You a sitting duck with your mind. Because you're not even using your mind. You using your body to make up for a lack of what you have in your mind. Right? So, that's just one of many examples that leaves a hoe unprepared, right? And then another thing that adds fuel to the fire of being unprepared is all this socializing that takes place. As I say all the time, you are what you eat, not just what you put in your mouth, but what you put into your mind, what you put into your soul, all of that, right? As well as your body. And a lot of times when bitches be socializing, they putting a lot of junk food in their mind through this conversation that they having with these bitches. 9 times out of 10, the conversation ain't got nothing to do really with no hoeing. 9 times out of 10, they gossiping about different individuals in the game, bitches they don't like, niggas they don't like, they probably talking bad about they folks and how they folks was fucking on this square bitch and how they folks is always high or just something stupid, right? And if you a hoe that want to be successful in the game, if you a hoe that wants to be good at what you do and great at what you do, then you're not going to engage in this type of shit. But again, this is what happens when you don't come to the battle prepared. See, when a hoe is prepared, when a hoe is gamed up and laced up and got the right understanding of this game, she not finna be socializing, especially with a bunch of bitches that aren't on the same page as her. Trying to enlighten each other or be helpful to one another. A lot of times bitches be cock blocking. It be shit like, a sting might be going on and they might have all the hoes lined up, getting ready to go to jail, in a hoe across the street that the police ain't even noticed. Police don't even see this bitch across the street, but one of the bitches sitting on this side of the street lined up, getting ready to go to jail, like, hey, there go another one right there. Go get her too. You know what I mean? This type of shit happens. I tell you one time, right? Just to give you an example of that. I had some people down in Vegas one time, right? And it's top of the morning. It's like 6 a.m. And she walking past, she coming from the Bellagio, crossing the bridge to Caesar's Palace. But then she gonna cross the bridge again to go towards, at the time it was Bills. It's the Cromwell now. But at the time it was Bills, right? And she going towards that bridge to get across from Caesar's Palace to Bills. But she like in the distance. So she don't even see what's taking place, right? And they got like 6 or 7 hoes lined up. They done ran a sting. They got all these bitches getting ready to put them in a paddy wagon. And one of the bitches pointed out my bitch to the vice. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there go one right there. You know what I mean? Don't let her get away. So the police go get her, snatch her up. And now all these bitches is in the paddy wagon. And, this is a bitch that my bitch had conversation with before. She done socialized with this bitch before. She done talked with her before. And now they in the paddy wagon trying to be all buddy, cool. You know what I mean? Until once they got downtown, one of the other bitches pulled my bitch to the side like, hey, you know, that bitch right there ain't cool. You know what I mean? Like, police didn't even see you, and the bitch pointed you out to them. You know what I mean? So, you know, just, you know, FYI, you know what I mean? That bitch ain't cool. This is the type of shit that happens in the game. And these will be the same type of bitches that you smoking with, same type of bitches that you drinking with, getting high with, doing all type of other shit that you shouldn't be doing in the game. You know, on the Blaze in California, you know, bitches is notorious for shit like that. Notorious for, you know, socializing with a bitch all the time on the blade, but the whole time be plotting. You know, you might be a money getting ass bitch, and these other bitches see you trapping like a motherfucker, so they want to get up under you and get close to you so they can rob your motherfucking ass or jump you because they think you prettier than them, or whatever the case may be. You know, basically the bottom line, the only bitch you should be socializing with is your wifey or your wifeys. You dig? So that, but back to my example of, you know, a bitch being unprepared in the battle of the minds on the blade. When she ain't got no game, when she don't stand for game, she gonna fall for, you know, fulfilling this trick's fantasy for free. And oftentimes a bitch gonna let a trick, when he pull up, she gonna let the trick reach out the window, grab her titties, grab her ass, you know, all of this shit. And he might be recording the shit the bitch don't even know. It's 2022. Motherfuckers record everything, you know? So that's just an example of a bitch unprepared in the battle of the minds between her and this trick. You know, now to the internet, right? And man, bitches on the internet talk all of this shit. You know, everybody talk shit. Bitches on the blade talk shit about how they the best. Bitches on the carpet talk shit about how they the best. Bitches in the strip club talk shit about how they the best. But I would have to say, don't nobody talk more shit than the internet bitches. And they are the nastiest bitches. If you just gonna categorize everybody on, you know, levels of not so nasty to extremely nasty, the internet bitches is extremely nasty as a group. If you just group them together, blade bitches, internet bitches, strip club bitches, carpet bitches, the internet bitches are the nastiest. They the most drastic, desperate ones, and it's crazy because they talk the most shit. Like they get the most money and they do the biggest hoeing and can't nobody fuck with them. And I upgraded from the track and all this old shit. I graduated from the track. Like they had a ceremony with a cap and gown and they, you know, they got a diploma and they done graduated from the track and they taking pictures on the blade with their family. They mama so proud, you know what I mean? Because they done graduated from the track. This is how they be acting. And they be some of the nastiest bitches, right? So here's another example of a bitch who doesn't understand the game that she's in, who's coming to the battle unprepared between her and a trick's mind, right? Hey, man, it's so many bitches that they'll post their ad, right? And they'll have a video on their ad. They'll have some porn on their motherfucking ad. They got all the little pictures, you know what I mean? Lingerie, bent over on the bed, you know, all the shit. Then they'll have a video of them sucking dick. Then they'll have another video of them playing with their pussy. Then they'll have another video of them, you know, getting, you know, like them white boys like to say, getting taken to Pound Town. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers just pounding their pussy out. They got all of this shit on their ad. It's like, bitch, why you got this shit on your ad? What type of sense does this make? You know what I mean? One way or another, that trick that looks at that ad, he can probably download it or screen record it or whatever he wants to do. Basically, he can save that content and use it over and over again to jack off and bust a nut. And again, bitch, you didn't get nothing out the situation, right? And the cold part about it, you know, I don't know, but I'm just willing to bet. I just can imagine that them videos that they be doing be with tricks. You know what I mean? The videos they be doing, 9 times out of 10, I mean, I hate to be graphic, but the shit be raw. You know what I mean? They got these videos doing this raw pornography, and you know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, it's with a trick. And then you have bitches who they'll post their link, like they'll have a Pornhub page or some shit like that. You know what I mean? And they'll post the link. You know what I mean? Now, I don't really understand all of how Pornhub works, but from what I've heard, I guess there's a way to monetize your content on there. I'm not exactly sure. You know what I mean? But if you're not monetizing that shit, then that's some more, free content that you're giving up. But basically, bitches do all of that type of shit, right? They got porn on their ad. That a trick don't have to pay nothing to see, nothing to download or record or whatever the case may be, right? And they probably be sitting there in the room, and getting no calls coming through, and probably just sitting there wondering why. Don't even understand why. Hey, listen, it's 183 of y'all in here, but only 103 of y'all have wiped your feet off at the door. Do a pimp a favor, wipe your feet off at the door, man. What I mean by that, hit that like button. Please and thank you. Put some of this good old love in my body. But yeah, man, and it's a reason why I say the internet chicks is the nastiest, right? See, and I've said this before, right? And I don't know, the internet done changed a lot since I really fucked with it. I take a look at certain sites sometimes just to kind of like, understand what's going on a little bit. But I don't really know the review sites that they got going on. From what I understand, TER got shut down, I think. TER was like the main site that tricks would use to review chicks on the internet. It was called TER, the Erotic Review. I don't know if that still exists anymore, but I imagine that something similar exists, or they probably recreated it or something like that, right? But whatever the case, tricks get to dictate so much of what goes on the internet with these bitches, right? Like, they give reviews, and their reviews like have a lot of power over, like basically their opinions dictate a whole lot of shit. Okay, TNA board, that's another one. TNA board is probably, the biggest one now. I remember, again, I'm not no internet guru, but from what I understood back in the day, TNA board was more so like for the Northwest, like Washington, Oregon, that area up there. It might have got bigger since then, I don't know. But yeah. Big Shot, good looking with the $5 holla. P, use a hustler because I'm a customer, preach. I dig that. But yeah, man. Whether it's TNA board or whatever others, they probably got other ones too, but the bottom line is tricks get on there and they give these reviews, and these reviews really have some type of bearings on whether or not a trick dates a bitch or not. And it's crazy. But the reason why I mention these reviews is because when you're able to read these reviews, you see how nasty these bitches on the internet are. And a big part of the reason why is because, like, that's the easiest avenue to get involved in. Out of all arenas in the game, the internet is the easiest one to get involved in. Like, you don't need shit to get in. Like, on the track, you got to have like a little bit of sense. You ain't got to be the smartest motherfucker to, I'm talking about not to be successful or anything like that. Just to get involved on the track, you got to have a little bit of sense, because if not, you're going to get hurt real bad or something bad is going to happen to you. But you got to have a little bit of sense to be on the track, right? To be on the carpet, you know what I mean? Whether it's casinos or bars or all that type of shit, you really got to have some game. It's a lot. It's more things. That's probably the most difficult, you know what I mean, to really succeed in. Or I ain't gonna say difficult. I'm gonna say that probably is the most involved. You know, it takes more to do that, you know, in a lot of cases than the other shit, right? The strip club, that's kind of easy too. You know what I mean? That's probably like the second easiest. But the easiest is the internet, because, see, the strip club, you still got to get hired. Somebody might turn you down or whatever the case may be. But on the internet, it's not a matter of getting turned down. It's just a matter of, okay, you want to do this, go ahead and do it. Right? So that's the easiest avenue to get involved in. Right? It takes the least amount of game to post an ad on the internet and wait for the phone to ring and then have a short conversation with the motherfucker and they come through. Like, that requires the least amount of game. Right? So, but like I said, when it comes to when you read those reviews, a lot of bitches on the internet be nasty as a motherfucker. I'm just telling the truth. I ain't trying to down nobody. And I'm not saying everybody on the internet is like that, because you got some bitches on the internet that are fucking with pimps, and pimps ain't going for that, you know. But you got some bitches on the internet that are just nasty. And see, when they get to talking about their reviews, you know what I mean? Oh, my reviews are this, and I got 50 reviews and all of them is good. Like, if you got that many reviews and they all good, you nasty. 9 times out of 10. You are nasty. You know what I mean? You doing all the acronyms. You doing all the BBBJ, the CIM, the I forget some of the other acronyms, but all the nasty ass acronyms, you doing all of the motherfuckers. You know what I mean? You letting the tricks have their way. 9 times out of 10. If motherfucker get to reading them reviews, it's very rare when you read those reviews. That's why I miss my red book. I wish they would have never shut down my red book, because my red book really told the truth about a lot of these bitches. You know what I mean? When they get to talking about, oh, my reviews this, my reviews that. My red book, you just could get on that motherfucker and just see how nasty a bitch is. She gonna have a whole bunch of reviews, you know what I mean? And it's gonna tell you how nasty a bitch is. Like, oh man, she gave me BBBJ, the bareback blowjob, and it was amazing. Or, oh, she let me come in her mouth and it was just, oh my goodness. They telling all of that shit on them reviews. So, you know, I don't want to hear it about the internet chicks, because the majority of the ones that's bragging are the ones with the least amount of game, and they doing the most desperate shit. And you could just tell by their conversation. They not intelligent or anything like that. They not articulate, none of that. So, you know, these are just some examples of bitches on the internet, you know, that ain't got no game, that come to the battle unprepared between them, their mind, and the trick's mind. You know, they posting porn on their motherfucking ad, and then, you know, so that's one way that the trick is gonna be able to get over for free if they so choose. And then when they do have a date come through, 9 times out of 10, they doing all kind of bareback shit, because they don't have enough game to make this trick give up the money without doing some desperate shit. So they doing all the bareback shit, and they reviews tell it. You know what I mean? Their reviews tell it. I remember, man, I don't know if they still have it, but it used to be a site called Humaniplex, right? And Humaniplex was like mainly, from what I remember, it was mainly like a Southern California site, right? That's where it was really, you know, that's where it was really going on. And I remember when Humaniplex first came around, like different motherfuckers was like, oh man, Humaniplex is the shit, man. Humaniplex, man. My bitch just made whoop in this amount of hours, and you know, they was really bragging about Humaniplex, right? So I say fuck it, you know what I mean? I tried to fuck with Humaniplex a couple of different times, and each of the times that I tried to fuck with it, I put some bad bitches on there, and they didn't get a dime. None of them got a dime, right? And see, the way Humaniplex was set up, they had levels. And that's what I didn't like already, right? Because in order for bitches to move up in these levels, they have to get vouched for by tricks. A trick got to vouch for you in order for you to move up in levels, right? So, of course, when you create your account, you start off, you level 1. I forgot what it took to get up to level 2, but level 2 wasn't that difficult to get to. Level 3 was kind of, I don't think it was that difficult to get to, but really, most of the time, the tricks wouldn't fuck with a bitch unless she was level 4 or 5. But the first thing them tricks gonna ask you is, what's on the menu? What's on the menu? And if you say, oh, I provide a clean service, or, you know what I mean, everything's protected, ain't none of them tricks finna vouch for you. You know what I mean? So everybody on Humaniplex pretty much was doing some nasty ass shit. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You know what I mean? It might be some of my partners might have fucked with it, and they might try to tell you, oh man, my bitch was would you. Them bitches was nasty. You know what I mean? Because them tricks would not fuck with a bitch unless it was you know, bareback this, come in the mouth that, all this old type of shit, right? So, but yeah, man, you know, these are just examples of when a bitch comes to the battle between her mind and the trick's mind, naked, unarmed, unprepared, right? Now, when it comes to the carpet, you know, whether it's Collins Avenue in Miami, whether it's Cahillo Avenue in Hawaii, or the Las Vegas Strip, any of these type of areas, right? You know, boy, bitches be so unprepared in them type of areas, right? Let me tell you. Now, Vegas is sad because if you ask me, right now in Las Vegas, there's never been more money available to hoes in Vegas than it is right now. You know what I mean? They got the Raiders in town. You know, they just got so much other shit going on. They constantly building new shit out there. Like, the money is there. But like I said the other day, the more the potential for the money, the higher it gets, the less bitches' desire is. You know what I mean? So at the same time where the potential to get money is greater than it's ever been, you know, the bitch's desire to get money is lower than it's ever been. So in Vegas, you got a lot of bitches, they come into the battle unprepared. There's no way in the world that you should be on the Las Vegas Strip and you calling yourself a hoe and you got on tennis shoes or sandals or any type of shit like that. You know, and bitches be on the strip, they don't be having their nails done, their hair be fucked up, you know, just totally unprepared. They not dressed as though they want to win. You know, as my brother Andre Taylor said before, you know, if you look like $1 million, you have a better chance at attracting $1 million, right? These bitches, they be looking like $1. They don't be trying to look like no dollars at all. They don't be trying to look nothing close to $1 million, right? And that's somebody that's unprepared. So, you know, when you look like quality, a trick gonna know that he gonna have to spend some money on your ass, even before you open your mouth. If you look expensive, then that's gonna put him in the mind frame of, she's expensive, I'm gonna have to pay top dollar for her. I'm gonna have to come with it for her, you know. But when you look cheap, you know, it's equivalent to going to a store, a department store, Macy's or whatever, right? It's like going to Macy's and, you know, you see the higher quality shit over here and you know you're going to have to spend on that type of shit, but then they got the clearance rack over here. You don't even have to look at the shit on the clearance rack. You know it's going to be cheap because it's on the clearance rack. And it's sad, but bitches have essentially turned Las Vegas Boulevard into the clearance rack. It's crazy. Now, you know, because it's Vegas, you always gonna have some decent looking chicks out there. But what I'm saying is the majority of bitches are the clearance rack. You know what I mean? Miami ain't no different. Hawaii ain't no different. You know, a lot of bitches is on some clearance rack ass shit. And see, when you on some clearance rack shit, you know, when these bitches going to these bars and these casinos and shit like that, and they looking like clearance rack hoeing, you know, they got to do more drastic shit. So I done seen some of the most disgusting shit bitches do. I done seen bitches at the bar tongue kissing tricks. I done seen bitches at the bar letting the trick play with their pussy. I'm talking about really playing with it at the bar. For real. Bitches that's supposed to be hoes. This is somebody, again, who doesn't understand what they involved in. You don't understand the game that you playing. You don't understand that this is a battle of the minds. Your mind versus the trick's mind. So you come into the battle totally unprepared, unarmed, naked. So this is why you doing the desperate, drastic ass shit that you doing. Because you don't understand what you're getting involved in. So if you don't understand what you're getting involved in, how are you going to come prepared? How are you going to prepare for that when you don't even know what it is? Right? Only thing you know is that you can get some money out of it. But, you know, it's sad, man. You know, any other profession requires some sort of expertise. It requires some sort of education, some sort of training. You know, basically you got to get laced in any profession. A damn cashier at the grocery store has to go through some sort of training before they can do that job. And that's a simple ass job. But they still got to go through some sort of training. A motherfucker at a fast food restaurant, you know, cooking the food, whether it's flipping burgers or making tacos or burritos or whatever, right? They got to go through some sort of training. You know what I mean? A janitor, they got to go through some sort of training. As simple as it may be, or as complex as it may be, whatever the case, any type of job or any type of profession, they got to go through some sort of training. Shit, even in the dope game. You have to learn how to do whatever it is that you got to do. Somebody got to teach you the game, right? So how come you got so many bitches in the game that don't want to learn nothing? That don't want to get laced? That think that just because they a female and they you know, so many motherfuckers done told them they attractive, they gonna be successful. Or, you know, some of them just be cool. They be satisfied with just that. Motherfuckers telling them that they attractive. They don't want to aspire to anything greater. And see, what, like I said, what motherfuckers don't understand is the time to get it is now. And it ain't never been a better time to get it than right now. So a hoe in the game, she should try to be getting laced. And see, I can't just blame the hoes because, you know, they can't miss something that they ain't never had. You know, and they can't have a desire for some pimping if they ain't never had no pimping. And, you know, I just hate to say it, but it's the truth, man. A lot of dudes in the game, they ain't doing no pimping. It's not that they're incapable of doing some pimping. You got some dudes that have pimped before, but they scared to pimp right now because they believe if they start trying to pimp, then, you know, they gonna scare the hoe off, which is crazy. So if you scared to pimp and you accepting this bitch, then you pretty much making a deal. You know, you pretty much Monty Hall. Let's make a deal. Bob Barker. The price is right. It's 191 of y'all in here, but only 171 of y'all done wiped your feet off at the door. Do a pimp a favor, man. Wipe your feet off at the door. What I mean by that, hit that like button. Step outside, go back to the door, step out the chat, hit that like button, step back inside the chat. You did. And of course, put some of this good old love shit in your body. See, you know, by so many dudes either being incapable of pimping, not having no pimping with them, or being scared to pimp, whatever the case, one way or another, a lot of bitches are just not getting pimped on. They just getting sent out there. You know, and if you were to ask these bitches what they learned from the pimping, now some of them might be spiteful and lie and try to act like they didn't get no game from the pimping, but sometimes you could tell. Now, if it's a bitch who's drastically different, you know what I mean? Her performance is drastically different. Like she started out as a $40 date catching bitch to, you know what I mean, hundreds of dollars per date catching bitch, thousands of dollars sometimes, you know what I mean? In a lot of cases, you know, like her performance, her presentation, conversation, everything is just upgraded. Then, you know, like she had to, you know, learn something. Because I've seen cases like that where you got bitches that try to act like they just didn't get no game. And it's really just because they mad at the pimping. But those are the rare cases. In most cases, these bras ain't really learning nothing from these dudes. They really are not getting pimped on. They just getting sent out there, which is a difference. It's a difference when you pimping for the money versus you just telling the bitch to go outside. There's a difference. You know, pimping is actually a job. Pimps actually have a job that they do. Right? But, you know, whatever the case, so this is why a lot of chicks in the game, they don't even understand the game that they involved in because they're not getting laced, right? And if they just understood what they were supposed to have, and if they understood what they were supposed to do with what they were supposed to have, they would be like, the standard in the game would be so much higher. You know what I mean? Like the expectation of tricks would be just so much higher. You know, the demand, everything would just be greater if hoes understood what they were supposed to have and understood what they were supposed to do with what they were supposed to have. Right? conversation, right? First of all, even before conversation, just understanding the trick. A lot of chicks don't even understand tricks. They don't understand how tricks' minds work. They don't understand patterns, tendencies. If a trick says this out of his mouth, then 9 times out of 10, that's the case, or this is the case, or whatever. Like, it's just so much they don't understand. And it's because they don't have a desire for gain. But if you understand the trick, just like a car salesman, they going to understand the different types of customers. They going to know is this type of customer, that type of customer, so on and so forth, right? They going to understand the different types of customers. And as soon as the customer opens their mouth, they going to have a good idea of what type of customer they dealing with, right? This is a car salesman. So on that same token, a good hoe is going to understand the different types of tricks that she coming across, right? And she going to be able to determine right away whether or not a motherfucker is a waste of time or he not a waste of time. He just full of shit and he trying to get over on me like he think I'm trying to get over on him, but he got it. So let me break him down and get what I want from his ass. It's sad that most of the chicks in the game don't even think like that. But first of all, it's understanding what you dealing with and who you dealing with. And then if a hoe understands the trick, then she knows the right things to say. This is where the conversation comes into play. Right? The conversation and then also the femininity. It's sad. Again, when a hoe is unprepared and she don't understand what she's involved in, bitches get mad and they get disrespectful and be talking crazy to tricks. It's like, bitch, how do you even catch dates with this attitude? Like, seriously. I done seen bitches cuss tricks out, all type of shit. And then, like, I done seen this so many times where a bitch will get in the car with a trick, right? And then the next bitch will be over there yelling like, don't get in the car with him, girl. He only got $50 or he only got $40. Don't go with him. No, bitch, he told you that's what he had. Because you didn't have what it takes to break his motherfucking ass or even find out, what he got going on. You didn't apply any game. So that's why he told you that he only had $50. But that hoe with some game, she going with his ass and she gonna apply some game. Because she understands what she's involved in. She understands that it's a battle of the minds, her mind versus the trick's mind. So she gonna hoe accordingly and she gonna get what she's supposed to get. Then when the bitch come back around and get dropped off right there, it's like, oh girl, he gave me $200. Bitch gonna be sitting there, now she gonna turn into a hater. She gonna be mad at the bitch. And that's, again, another reason why, socializing just for so many reasons, it don't make sense. And it's not in the hoe's best interest to do. But, them is the type of bitches that be unprepared and don't understand what they involved in. And, they be getting disrespectful with tricks. And, like, why are you getting mad? See, they don't understand, again, what they involved in. Because if you understand what you involved in and you know what you're doing and you understand the game, like, you're not going to be mad. That's another thing. It'd be so many bitches that just be so angry. And I don't understand why they so angry. Well, I do understand why they so angry because they don't understand what they involved in. But it's like, damn. Just angry and quick to be disrespectful. It's just crazy. But, confidence comes from knowing what you're doing. Right? And, people get people get confidence and self-esteem confused. A lot of times people think confidence and self-esteem is the same thing, but it's not. You know, confidence comes from knowing what you're doing. You know, your self-esteem might be shitty. You might not think much of yourself at all. But if you know how to work on cars and you know what you're doing, like you know your way around a car like the back of your hand, you're going to be confident in that. You know what I mean? You might think you ugly. You might think you know your charisma ain't really there like you would want it to be. You know what I mean? Your self-esteem might not be there. But your confidence when it comes to working on cars might be the shit. You know what I mean? The same thing with basketball. You know what I mean? Like you might just be a cold ass athlete, but your self-esteem ain't really there. But you confident in your ability to do whatever needs to be done on the court because you know what you're doing. Your skills are superior, you know, so you're confident in your ability, but your self-esteem ain't really there. You know what I mean? So you don't really think much of yourself when it comes to your own value, right? Then you got motherfuckers who's the opposite. You got motherfuckers who have a high self-esteem, and it's funny because some bitches like I don't know why they be having their self-esteem so high, right? But they self-esteem, a lot of chicks in the game, they self-esteem be through the roof. And oftentimes I think it's because of all the wrong reasons, but whatever the case, they self-esteem be through the roof. And they think that because they have a high self-esteem, you know, that they're going to be good hoes. So they try to have a little bit of confidence in the area of hoeing, but that confidence is really riding off of their self-esteem. And if they had to rely just on their hoeing, they would understand they ain't got no reason to be confident because they don't know what the fuck they doing. You know? So, again, a good hoe, she gonna have a high self-esteem and she's gonna be confident in her ability to hoe. You dig? And her being confident in her ability to hoe is, you know, understanding what she's doing and having game and applying it and understanding that it's a battle of the minds, her mind versus the trick's mind. See these chicks that got this high self-esteem, but don't even have a concept of confidence, and they think high self-esteem is the same thing as confidence. That's why they get mad and frustrated and disrespectful, because they think they're the shit. So they think that they're supposed to be successful just because they're the shit. But no, you got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing. I hate to say it, right? And I know some people probably going to be mad at me, right? But it's just the truth. Allen Iverson is a prime example of somebody whose self-esteem is through the roof, and they confusing their self-esteem with confidence. Now, we all know Allen Iverson had skills like a motherfucker. He had handles. You know what I mean? His defense was cool. You know what I mean? His scoring ability was off the chain. But when it came to understanding his role as a point guard, he didn't really have the understanding. So because of that, he wasn't as great as he was supposed to be. As great of a motherfucker as he was supposed to be even greater. But his greatness was hindered because he confused his self-esteem with confidence. You know what I mean? And that's the problem that a lot of hoes in the game got. They got that Allen Iverson disease. They think that just because they fine, they're going to be great hoes. Just like Allen Iverson thought because he was a great ball handler and a great scorer and all this shit that he was going to be a great point guard. And, you know, he was sadly mistaken. You dig? But it's the same thing. That's the problem with a lot of bitches in the game. They got that Allen Iverson disease. You dig? But the bottom line is, as a hoe, you need to understand what you involved in. You need to understand the game that you in. You need to understand the dynamics of hoeing, which ultimately, when it all boils down, is your mind versus the trick's mind. So you should want to exercise your mind. You should want to nourish your mind. You should want to nurture your mind, take care of your mind, so that when you go to battle between yourself and this trick, you know what I mean, you're going to be better prepared. Hold on, I knew somebody was going to. Augustus St. Troy says, Freeze, I have to disagree with you on that one. Eric Snow was the point guard. Yeah. Eric Snow, yeah, he I don't know if he was, I mean, I know he was a point guard too, but was he starting? And that, now I know Iverson played both, like he played point guard and shooting guard, but he really was a point guard though. Like Iverson was supposed to be a point guard. Whatever, like of course he played shooting guard at times. You know what I mean? Like of course he guarded Jordan. You know what I mean? But and the Jordan, of course, was a 2 guard. But yeah, like somebody said, basically my point is right. You know what I mean? Whether he was point guard or shooting guard, you know what I mean? He didn't really understand his role. And like, you know, whatever anybody has to say, like if Allen Iverson understood his role and what he was supposed to be doing, like he would have been way greater. You know, like that's the difference, like with a LeBron James. LeBron understands his role. You know, Kobe, early on, I don't think Kobe really understood his role, but I think he got to understand it better. And when Kobe became a facilitator, he was a beast. You know what I mean? When Kobe understood his role, he started making everybody on the team better. He wasn't doing that at first, especially when you got a Shaq on your team. You know what I mean? Like Kobe really didn't understand his role at first, but he was a beast though. His work ethic was off the chain. And then once he got older and he got to understanding, you know, his role better, that's when he became a greater player. And that's all I'm saying about Allen Iverson. Like, he didn't understand his role. That's the bottom line. The same could be said about Michael Jordan until Phil Jackson taught him to pass the ball. Yeah. Yeah, when Phil came, because, you know, in them early years, same type of thing. Like Mike was great, but yeah, he definitely became greater under Phil Jackson. We all know that for sure, for sure. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and chop this game for a few more minutes before we wrap this shit up. If you ain't wiped your feet off at the door before you stepped into a pimp's domain, please do so now. What I mean by that, step outside, go back to the door, hit that like button, step back inside, and we resume this game. You dig? Lakeisha says that's why chick can't submit, can't tell them nothing in their feelings because they feel stupid, but they just not knowing. Yeah, again, that self-esteem, right? That self-esteem that a lot of chicks in the game got, it 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 has a lot to do with ego. And a lot of chicks, their egos got them thinking that it's all about them. And it makes them very selfish. And their language oftentimes is me, my, I. They don't have any concept of us, our, we, none of that, right? And they don't understand that in order to be great, you have to have an us, our, we concept. You have to have that in your head. You gotta understand that. But when you think it's just all about you, it's me, my, I, and you're only concerned about yourself and you don't reciprocate anything, see, that's again them coming to the battle unprepared because they don't understand what game they involved in. 9 times out of 10, most of these chicks, when they talk to tricks, what they're communicating to the trick is, I don't give a fuck what you want. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Give me what I want. They might as well just say that. Because in so many words, that's the energy that they're giving off. The way that these girls approach tricks 9 times out of 10, they might as well be saying, hey, fuck you, fuck what you talking about, fuck what you want, give me some money. And if that's your approach, you can't really expect much. That's why 9 times out of 10, most of these chicks don't make a lot of money and they don't stack a lot of money. And, on social media, you could be all you could be. You could pretend to be everything that you wish you was. So they'll try to have you believe that they really make a whole lot of money, but that's not really the case. And as the pimping, we all know that oftentimes a chick will get on your line, she be talking all this big old hoeing, but when she get on your line and you ask her how much money she got, 9 times out of 10, she ain't really got shit. You dig? We already know that. So their definition of what some money is versus what a pimp's definition of what some money is, 9 times out of 10 is two totally different things. And I mentioned this the other day, I believe. But again, it was an interview that I saw recently on Soft White Underbelly with this chick, right? Prostitute. And she said that she had a pimp. And she referred to him as her assistant. She referred to him as her assistant, the pimping. She said that she had a pimp, and she said that he was her assistant. So it's crazy, like that she said a mouthful with that as far as her outlook on the pimping. But at the same time, a lot of these dudes play the role of an assistant to these chicks just to have them around, just to keep them as long as they can. They play the role of an assistant. They let the chick order them around. They turn into the bras, go for this, go for that. Go for, some food. Go for, my tampons and shit at the store. Go get that. They turn into the bras assistant, which anybody who know Freeze ain't buying no feminine products for nobody. You're not finna have me go in the store buying no tampons, no none of that. You know what I mean? Freeze don't get out, man. You on your own when it comes to that. You better stay ready so you ain't have to get ready, you know what I mean? But that's what a lot of these dudes do. They turn into the bras assistant, man. And you can't really expect much from a situation like that. You can't expect her to value you and respect you in the way that she's supposed to respect pimping when you're not conducting yourself as some pimping. And obviously, in a situation like that, when a hoe like that goes to do battle between herself and the trick's mind, she's gonna be unprepared, and the trick is gonna win every time. You dig? Sevy Sev, good looking with the $10 holler. This shit should be required to be watched by all men and women in the lifestyle like a prerequisite. Dig that. I appreciate that. Good looking. I agree. Preem Team, Mac Money, good looking with the $10 holler. Peace up. Blessings to you, my dog. We're waiting on that Freezing Sinful live duo. Dig that. When Sin get back in action, we might have to do that. I'm with it. I'm sure he'll be with it too. You dig? But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. As always, y'all already know I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate all the likes. I appreciate all the shares. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate you hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate all the super chats, all the cash apps. I appreciate your support in every which way that you come with it, you dig? And before we get out of here, if you didn't wipe your feet off at the door, go ahead and do so now while the pimp finish this good old love off. Yes, indeed. All right, man. We up out of here. If you out in traffic moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. I'll holler.